Hey folks, Paul McGarry here at my home office in Philadelphia. It's office day today for me. I'm actually doing a lot of paperwork. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I open the mail and all that stuff. And I'm sitting here thinking about some of the things that happened to me this week, and it prompted me to do this video. And I'm going to call this video Excusitis. Over the last week, I've had several conversations, and actually over the last month, about people giving me excuses as to why they're not successful. And I find it interesting. I have several businesses. I do real estate. I got a home-based business. I do some consulting. I still have my CPA. I do some work in that area as well. And I find that, I talk to people and they say, oh, real estate doesn't work. And then as I go into it more, it's, they don't want to actually spend the time to actually do the things necessary to be successful, whether it's real estate, home-based business, whatever it is. For instance, someone says, oh, I can't find a house. And they say, well, how many houses have you looked at? And they say 2 or 3. Well, you can get lucky. And there are people out there that have gotten lucky, especially, when the market was going up. But now the market's going down. You got to go out and search. You got to do your due diligence. You also have to become a professional. And I find it interesting, real estate, especially, I had a friend the other day that called about their home-based business. I said, how many people did you call and let them know what you're doing? None. Well, how do you expect to be successful if you're not actually doing the things necessary to be successful? And then I get the excuses. Well, I get home from work late, and I get this, and I do that, and I have a family, and I have this, and I have that. You know what's funny, though? When I interview people and I look at my own life, when I first started in real estate investing, I was working at a top accounting firm. I was working 85 hours a week. I was out of town 100% of the time, which means I drove back into town at 11, 12 o'clock at night, drove around to look at properties, and then drove back. When I started my home-based business, I had other businesses as well as working, and I started my home-based business in another field, and I would do calls between lunch, or I would do calls after work. I would set aside time. I do calls in my car. I still do calls in my car. I actually go to my car to do calls because it's an environment that I don't have to worry about anybody interrupting me. I can go park somewhere and do all my calls. People say, oh, maybe you could do it because you have all the time. I work more now than I did when I was an employee. And then the other excuses I get are, well, I have some family issues. Okay. Well, if you have family issues, why didn't you still go to work? And then I get people say, well, I have to go to work. Well, do you? You have a choice. And what I find funny is people give up on their dreams and their businesses because of life things, the life challenges that happen, whether it's family, friends, whatever it is, just because, or something doesn't go right in their business, and they quit their dreams, but yet they go to work, and they believe it's because they have to. We all have a choice. And if you decide that you're not going to do the business, but you're still going to go to work, well, then don't complain. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. If I get people calling me going, I can't do it because this happened and because my husband or my wife doesn't support me. I have 2 kids. I have 3 kids. I don't have a ride. I can't get, I don't. Are you kidding me? I can introduce you to more successful people that have been bankrupt, that have been broke. I mean, like broke. I mean, broke. I can share stories about my own situations of how things were up and down and up and down. I can share you stories with people that were homeless, that are now no longer homeless, living the $1 million lifestyle. Many, many, many stories out there. The only difference between them and you is they chose to break through those barriers. We all have the same opportunities. I mean, in my own story, if I would have complained and made excuses for where I was and not be accountable for what I did, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you. I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing today and living the life that I'm living today because I'd be back there. You'd probably still see me out on the street. So think about it. You want to quit something, that's fine. Maybe it's not for you, whatever it is, the business you're doing. But don't use excuses. Buck up and say, I quit because I can't do it or because I don't want to do it. And take some responsibility. So, because where you are today is directly a result of what you've done in the past. You, no one else. You can't blame it on your boss. You can't blame it on your family. You can't blame it on your husband or wife. You can't. You have choices and all that. And I know some of the choices are really, really tough, but they're still choices. Last night I had someone tell me that she has no choice. She's got to, wait on people to give her rides. Okay. And then we started talking, and she goes, well, I choose to not ask people. So wait a minute. So you can get rides, but you choose not to ask people because you think you're pestering them. Well, that's choice. And if you're not successful because of that one thing, you chose not to be successful. Most people that are successful and are going to go the distance will do whatever it takes to get there. And I'm not saying whatever it takes in an illegal manner or a vicious manner towards people. They'll do what needs to be done in a highly ethical integrity of manner to get there. So I ask you the question, what are you doing to get to your dreams? What are you doing an hour a day to help you better yourself? What are you doing, what businesses are you researching to maybe find one that fits you that you can go out and change your whole life? It doesn't take much. It does not take much. Most people, their challenge is they don't change their belief system. They don't believe that they can do it. So they'll get into something, they'll try, but they won't try hard. And then their actions will validate their belief of this doesn't work. And then they quit. And then they blame everything else but them. As soon as you start pointing back at you, your life starts to change. Because then you realize you're responsible for everything that you do. Everything. So, I encourage you to step up, get some cojones, if you will, and start doing the things necessary to change your life. If you're in any of my businesses or if you need any help, give me a call. I'd be happy to help you. I'd be happy to talk to you. Listen, I understand stuff happens in people's lives. Life happens. It's what you do with life when it happens is what makes you successful or not. So I encourage you to start looking at life as challenges that you can overcome and you can proceed forward and make a difference for you and your family. So with that, I'm done. I'm on my rant. I'm going to go back to doing my paperwork so I can click out of the office, go out and have a good time, spend some time with my dogs and my family, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace out.